As we move into winter, days are getting shorter and shorter, and my headlights just aren't cutting it anymore. So I did what anyone would do. I hopped on Amazon and started looking for a light bar. And what I found was the entire first page was full of this brand, Nightlight. So I was curious, are they any good? Why are they so cheap? So I bought one, the 32-inch light bar, which came with not much. A QR code, and a bag with 2 brackets. It's very cheap. The aluminum's super thin, but it was only like $30. Now this light bar that I got didn't come with a harness, so I had to pick up a harness kit, which came with a relay, fuse, a switch for the dash. What we need to do is we need to mount the light bar, we need to run the harness, we need to put the switch in the dash, and then we need to make sure everything works. Somehow I need to drill into this bumper support to mount those brackets. The first thing I'm noticing is these brackets stick down a lot further than I thought they were going to. So where I wanted to mount it, which was on the front of this bar, the light is now above the bumper. So I think my only option is to move it back onto the frame horns, or where it mounts to the frame, and drill and tap that, since I can't get access to the other side to put a nut and through bolt it. 31 1/4. That's not 32. Should be the middle? No, it looks like I added up pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is mark where those brackets are, so I can take the light bar out, mark the hole, and then drill and tap the 2 holes. Okay, there's one. Now that the hole's drilled, we can tap it. That way the bolts can thread into this bumper support. Grab one of the bolts. That'll do. The next thing we gotta do is wire it up. So that is where this harness comes in. We've got a switch that gets mounted inside the dash. That is gonna be wired to key on 12-volt power. Then, when you flip the switch, it's gonna energize this relay, and this relay will switch fused battery power, which will then go down and power this light bar. We're gonna cut off 2 pieces of heat shrink. That way we can make sure no water gets in here. We'll slide it over this cable, over this one, and we can use these spade terminals. Slide it over. Crimp it, make sure we have a good connection. We can slide this over here, just like that. Do the same thing on the positive. Make sure it's all the way in. Crimp it. Good connection. Heat gun. As it cools down, it'll shrink even more, and we're ready to connect it to the rest of the harness. Positive, positive, negative, negative, And we'll zip tie it up out of the way. All right, we got a lot of the wires zip tied up. Now we just need to mount this relay, which looks like we can mount it here. Is this gonna fit? No, it doesn't. Okay, I need to drill this out. It's super thin metal, so I don't want to have it catch and then rip it out of my hand. Okay, let's see if it fits now. And it does. So we will now mount this.
Bye-bye.
There it goes. It's a good thing I have another one. We'll find that one later. There. Okay. Now, we run the battery cable through here, behind the fuse box. That up, and then this we will tie up and zip tie down below here. Next, we're going to hook up the relay to battery power. We hook this one to the body ground, and this one, once we get a little bit more slack in here, is going to go to under here. Battery power. Make sure that other terminal's tight. All right. Now the relay is connected. Before I run this through the firewall, let's hook this up and see if it works. Oh, I don't even need that. So we can feel the relay clicking. That's all working. Let's see. It's got a very dim light. Hopefully that's a lot brighter when it's on. When you click it, the light bar light turns on. Everything's working. Now we just need to run this through the firewall, put it in the dash, and we're done. Yeah, we got it. Light bar's installed, harness is run. All that's left is to mount this switch in the dash, but that's gonna have to wait till tonight, and then we can test it. The biggest pain was mounting it, and that's because where I thought I was going to mount it, it sat too high, so it is actually behind the bumper. But if you were mounting it to the roof or a roof rack, probably wouldn't have been that bad. And I guess we'll find out later how bright it is. So I temporarily installed this switch in the dash, and this is what it looks like with just my headlights. And that is what it looks like with the light bar. The camera doesn't do it justice. It is extremely bright. And it looks pretty good. So that's on. And then off. So should light up the trail quite a bit better, and when the light's on, it lights up blue. Overall, for $50, I don't think you can go wrong with this light bar. It's pretty easy to install. The hardest part was mounting it, and that's just where I decided to mount it. If it was up on a roof rack or something, it'd be easy. Harness was easy. The switch, once you found a place on the dash, is fine. Super bright. The construction's pretty cheap, but I mean, you got to cut costs somewhere to get a $50 light bar. And I think comparing it to some of the Rigids or Hellas, it's plenty bright and it'll do great on the trail. So we'll just find out how long it lasts, and I'll keep you guys posted. I'll put the light bar, the harness, everything in the description. If you've had experience with Nightlight and have it on your vehicle, let me know how you like it, how long it's lasted. Otherwise, thanks for watching.